Good afternoon, and welcome to the third instalment of Facebook Lives that I've been doing this week. All week, I've been chatting about the excuses that we make to either not start our business or to not fully commit and not fully get into kind of growing it and really kind of going for it. Let me just put my phone on silent before I go any further. If you haven't watched the first two installments of this, I went live on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and I was chatting so on Tuesday, I was chatting about the excuses. I don't have the right business idea. I haven't thought of the right idea yet. It's not the right time in my life yet. And then yesterday, I was chatting about I don't have enough time and I don't know where to start. I don't really know what to do. And really, why these are just excuses. So if you are finding yourself saying those things to yourself, then do go back and check out those videos. Yesterday's was slightly rudely interrupted. I was almost at the end, and then I was cut off because I was somehow randomly logged out of Facebook. But it's pretty much there. Now today, before I get started, I am just going to share this over to my Facebook group, Business Class. If you're not already in there, do come and join us. It's a great community for people, anyone really, who is just getting started with their business, whether you're still in the idea stage or you are already started but not yet earning consistent income, not yet replacing your 9 to 5 income. So let me share this over. And something that I chatted about yesterday and on Tuesday is the fact that yes, these are excuses, and generally speaking, they are driven by one of two emotions. The first is really just the fact that perhaps your heart's not in it, and you actually aren't up for entrepreneurship, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone is. Hold on, let me just finish doing this because I can't talk and type at the same time. Okay, there we go. That's that shared over. So yes, all of these excuses are driven either by the fact that actually you just don't really want to have your own business, and that's fine, but better to realize that and be able to move on than kind of feel forced into starting a business. And obviously if you don't want to, you're never going to really be happy in it, you're never going to fully commit, and it's going to be, you're off to a bad start really. The other emotion is fear, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that later on in this episode, for want of a better word. But before I get into any of that, let me just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Colette Broomhead, and I am an online startup strategist, which basically means that I work with people who are just getting started with their online business, and I help them create a strategy that works for them, because there is a ton of information online which can be completely overwhelming, and knowing what's right for you and what isn't right for you can be very difficult. So I help people kind of work through that, find a strategy that is right for them, and then ultimately replace their 9 to 5 income so that they can quit their job. That's what I do. I love it. And the reason that I'm going live all this week is to really kind of dive a bit more into these excuses that come up. I talk to a lot of new online business owners, and I talk to a lot of people who haven't yet started their business, but who are thinking about it. And the same sort of excuses come up over and over and over again. So I wanted to kind of really chat about them and just kind of deep dive into them and why those are coming up. So today's excuses that I'm talking about are: I don't have enough money to start a business. So let's look at that one first. And then the second one will be my friends and family wouldn't support me. Okay, so I don't have enough money to start a business. Now, this is, again, a very common fear. Starting a business traditionally has been something which is needed, often loans. You hear about people getting business loans, you need investors and this, that, and the other. Actually, starting an online business doesn't need any of that. You can start a business online very, very cheaply indeed. Essentially, I mean, you can pretty much start one for free if you don't want to have a website. Now, I would always recommend people do have a website because I think it gives your business credibility. It gives you a kind of online base that you own rather than kind of a social media base, which is very much you're very much in the hands of whatever social media channels that you choose. If they change their algorithm, you could lose your business that you've spent months, years, whatever building. So personally, I think it is always wiser to have your own online home and have a website. But websites can be built very, very cheaply these days. We're living in wonderful times where you're literally just paying for your domain name. My domain name cost me something like £10 a year, maybe not even that. And then your site hosting, which is usually around, I don't know, £50 to £100 a year. So again, not exactly going to break the bank. Then you've got things like an email service. Now there are services out there that you can start for free, and just work. You can basically grow the cost of your business as you grow your business. So I would never advocate going into tons of debt or anything like that. But as you start to earn more, you can start to spend more on your business as you see fit. So starting a business, not having enough money to start a business is really just an excuse. You can start a business on almost nothing. And I've often found that actually the people that I work with are in two kind of camps. The people who are willing to invest in themselves and their business, and the people who are not. And generally speaking, the people who are not willing to invest, even the smallest amount, are the people who are actually really committed to their business, whose hearts aren't really in it, and who probably aren't quite ready yet. And it's the people who are ready to invest and actually make that commitment, who are there, wanting to make a success of it, willing to put the work in, and who are actually going to make the progress. So if you are not willing to kind of even make the smallest investment in your business, then that is perhaps a sign that this isn't something that you truly want. It isn't something that you are truly committed to right now, and that's fine. But again, better to know it so that you can move on and find what you are passionate about, what you do want to do. If it's coming up because of fear, because of that risk factor, not wanting to put anything in case it goes wrong, then that is something that you have to address as well, because ultimately you generally speaking are going to get out what you put in. And again, I am certainly not advocating getting into debt or anything like that. That the very thought of that gives me shudders. But generally speaking, if you look at your finances, the amount that you would have to spend, it just perhaps means, not having your weekly costa, or do you know what I mean? It's small things can allow you to make these small investments in your business. If money is tight, look at those little savings that you can make, because they all add up. And if you can make those small investments in your business now, then your business can start to grow, and then you find that you've actually got more money to make bigger investments. So that's the money side of things. If this is something that you struggle with, let me know. I'd be happy to chat to you about it. I'd be really interested to know. And money is often a real kind of touchy, for want of a better word, subject for people, and we all have different relationships with money. So let me know if that's something that comes up for you. The second excuse that I want to chat to you about today is the whole thing about friends and family. We worry about perhaps letting people down. We worry about what people will think if we start our own business. It's that kind of fear of judgment almost. Now, I completely get this one, because this is one that I really struggled with. I was, before I started my business, I had, been in this successful corporate career for 13 years. I was working my way up the ladder. I'd literally just had a promotion not long before I actually quit my job. And to anyone externally, it might seem like I'd kind of lost my mind, really. Giving up a good salary, giving up a good career, working for a great company, having just been promoted, to suddenly start this business seemingly out of nowhere. And so, yes, the fear of what people would say, what people would think when I told them was real. And I know a lot of people go through the same thing. Ultimately, it's your life. If you believe that this is right for you, then it is your life. You can't live your life through what other people think about you and what other people want for you. You have to do what you believe is right for you. And friends and family, if they love you, will support that. They may tell you if they disagree. Luckily, I was incredibly lucky and had friends and family who all supported me, and it turns out that I didn't need to worry at all. And hopefully that will be the case for you. If you do find that you have friends or family who are less supportive, then you have to have those conversations. But ultimately, it's your life, and better to broach these conversations and hopefully prove them wrong, and hopefully make a success of your business, than to just miss out on something that you really want because you're scared of what other people will think about it. So again, if worrying about what friends and family might think is stopping you, then that's something that you really need to address. If this is something that you truly want, then you need to talk through this with friends and family. You need to help them to understand, and you need to live your life. So again, if that's something that's coming up for you, let me know. I'd love to chat to you about it. I'd love to hear who else out there is experiencing those worries. So those are the two issues that I wanted to kind of chat through today. I hope you found this helpful. If these are kind of thoughts that have been going through your own mind and they've been holding you back, either from starting your business or from fully committing and actually going all in with your business, then hopefully this has been helpful. Before I hop off, I also wanted to let you know about a free masterclass that I will be hosting next week on Monday. I will be chatting about the framework that I've used in my own business. Now, this is a framework that I created really because from a need to simplify. I'd gotten to the point where I was working kind of all the hours in my business, having kind of made that commitment and taken that risk and jumped into my business. It turned out not to be what I had hoped at all to begin with, and I was having to work all the hours. I really wasn't getting the results that I wanted. I was making very little money, and I knew that something had to change. So I kind of took a step back, and I created this framework which allowed me to massively simplify the way I worked, to cut down the hours I was working, and actually to get results, and to start growing. I started making consistent income, and I'm now growing that income month on month. And it's all thanks to this framework, and I want to share it with as many people as possible. So I will be sharing that in this masterclass on Monday. If you would like to join me, if you'd like to learn more, then do come and register your spot, come and join in. It's completely free, and I will put a link so that you can register in the comments. In fact, I shall do that now so I don't forget, because I am prone to forgetting once in a while. There we go, let's pop that in there. So that's all there. Do come and join us. Like I say, it's completely free. If you can't make it live, that's fine too. Anyone who registers will get a replay of the workshop as well. So that's me for today. I will be back tomorrow to chat again about the excuses that we come up with not to start or grow our business. I hope it's been helpful, and I shall see you tomorrow. Take care.